It's 6 o'clock. I'm calling to order this regular meeting of the City Council of the City of Bandera on Thursday, August 28th, 2020. All council members are present with the exception of Lynn Palmer. City Administrator is here. Keely is here tonight to be our tech guru, and Real Marshall Will is here too. Item 2 is visitors to be heard. Have we had any email comments today?
Yes. We have one. It was actually sent last week, but there were no visitors to be heard at that meeting since it was a special meeting. So it was sent August 11th, so events have transpired since this was written, but I will go ahead and read it for you. Mayor and City Councils of the City of Bandera, I recently became aware of the actions of the former Bandera EDC Administrative Assistant, Deanna McCabe, regarding the forwarding of BEDC emails, and I must say I am not shocked. My last experiences with Ms. McCabe while in her hired position with the BEDC were concerning. I was applying for grants to assist me in some catastrophic foundation and roof issues in my 2 commercial buildings within the city limits. Ms. McCabe came to visit me at my place of business and asked extensive questions regarding how my business works and how I make profits. I felt like I had satisfied all the questions that BEDC had for me to make sure they were comfortable in investing in my properties as a good long-term economic investment. It was at least a month of no response or follow-up before I decided to approach the president, Tony Coons, to ask for a status. She informed me that as far as she knew, all Ms. McCabe and the BEDC board's concerns were met and was not sure why there had not been a follow-up. Eventually, I was paid and extremely grateful to have had the BEDC as a partner in the long-term sustainment of my small businesses and the Bandera as we know it. I certainly would not have been able to have resumed business in either location as quickly as I did had the grants not been approved. There is a great deal more to the story, but I will stop here. Approximately a month ago, I was contacted by the U.S. Postmaster that there was a UPS store opening on Main Street in Misfits Emporium. As a UPS drop-off location, they notified me as a courtesy. If you are not aware, this new UPS location is owned by Deanna McCabe. I was very open and forthcoming about the information I shared because I trusted her as a BEDC representative with information about my business. In her move of her business to Main Street, she has expanded her merchandise into more of a boutique like my business and has secured herself a UPS shipping center. I do not feel this is a coincidence. I feel that the private information I shared with her was used for her own personal gain. In summary, I wholeheartedly agree with the letters read at last week's City Council meetings that state, although these may not be illegal actions or behaviors, they definitely cast shadows on her moral character and integrity. Should you have any questions for me, please do not hesitate to ask. I care about this town and its future. I feel that your choices of appointments should be more carefully made. Please take tonight as an opportunity to really look at the current appointed members and what they offer to the planning and stability of our economy. Then choose wisely. Respectfully, Leah Clute, concerned business owner of Millie and Marie.
Thank you. All right, item 3 is the consent agenda. Accept the resignation of Lynn Palmer from Bandera City Council and the Bandera Economic Development Corporation.
Move to approve.
Rebecca makes a motion to approve.
I'll second.
Don seconds. All in favor? Rosie's in favor, Don's in favor.
Oh, I'm sorry.
Rebecca's in favor, and Jerry, how do you vote?
Opposed.
Opposed? Jerry is opposed. Thank you. Motion passes. The regular agenda, discussion and possible action on the following items. Item A is set compensation of municipal officers for fiscal year 2021. We really can't address that tonight. That was meant to be the governing body to set the rates for the council and the mayor. So we can address this on September 3rd.
Oh, I'm sorry, why not
Because-
address it?
Because the city officers means the treasurer, the
Oh,
city
thank
secretary.
you. That's what I had called Jay about earlier. and
Yeah.
So we need to revise
Okay,
the agenda item.
so we're gonna move this to September 3rd,
Okay.
council's agreement. Item B is adopt new utility rates for 2020-2021 budget year. We discussed this at our workshop. Attached, you'll see the budget, the residential and the commercial sewer and water, and garbage rates. Garbage rates we can't really set until we have decided on a solid waste company.
And
Rebecca?
This schedule indicates no changes, correct?
That's correct.
Can I just ask real quick,
Sure.
on the, Jay, can you turn with me to the third page of this document? Commercial water and sewer rates. We're indicating a $0 base rate.
For what?
Commercial water and sewer rates inside the city limits.
Because we don't have, the lowest rate is 2,000 to 5,000. We don't have a 1,500 gallon commercial rate.
I didn't indicate anything about that. We have a $0 base rate from 0 to 200 gallons. Is what it,
Jay?
I'm not, I mean, this is the first time I've seen this one. So I can't answer that right now.
that's not accurate.
Well, I think the minimum commercial usage is 2,000 gallons.
But ma'am, there should be a base rate, a dollar amount there.
Well, it actually needs to not even be on there, quite frankly. Keely?
I'd have to go look at the previous sheet. I can see if I can find it over here really quickly and see if there was 0 in there from last year. It's a possible typo, but I don't know offhand. I've looked at so many numbers in the last few days.
We'll grab another sheet.
There should be a base rate there, and
What did they-
I don't mind
I don't know, but don't we
explaining
have a
further.
2,000 gallon minimum on commercial accounts?
Well, then what is it? No.
I don't know,
There,
you're right.
there's a dollar amount that should be there
Right, you're
for
right.
usage between $0 and $2,000. That is
Right.
the base rate. That is the minimum. Yes.
Okay.
It's-
Rectified. It is a typo. It should be
Yeah.
$27.56.
And again, that's a 0
0%
increase.
change. So that was
Thank
the rate for 2019-2020. So 27.56.
57.56?
27.56.
Motion to approve.
Thank you, Rebecca, for catching that.
I'll second that.
Rebecca makes motion, Jerry seconds. Any further discussion?
Just to be clear, the motion to approve is a no change to our
That's
current
correct,
rate.
absolutely,
Okay.
no change.
In case there's another typo here that I didn't catch.
Good thinking.
Thank
All
you.
in favor? All in favor, none opposed. Okay, item 3C is discuss some possible action on appointing Bandera EDC applicants to fill vacancies on the board.
Motion
Rebecca.
to open for discussion, if I may.
Yes, ma'am.
I understand with Councilmember Palmer resigning from the EDC board that we do not have a quorum. With the adjustments we made to the board last week, I was very much under the impression that the idea was to remove the members of the public who graciously served on the board and appoint other city board members, people affiliated with the city through their board participation, election or appointment, or city staff for a period of time to sustain getting the budget set, getting through the election, allowing the elected representatives to really hone in on what the projects, the direction of the EDC, and that at some point after those things occur, that we would reappoint members of the public to serve on that board. I would not have been in favor of removing every single person from that board had I known that we were gonna just turn around and appoint other members of the public. I think that we really need to strive to hold to the consensus, to find someone within the city that is willing to serve. Again, a member of the current council, one of our other board, our P and Z board, or a staff member, and allow those public appointments to happen later, again, once the budget is set and the city council formalizes the direction of the EDC. And having said that, I don't know if, I know Jerry's application is here. And I do know in the past that at least one P and Z member, Jared Wilcox, was willing to serve on the board. And I don't know if there are any other staff members who have had time to consider or would reconsider appointment. And as far as the other applications are concerned, while I'm very grateful for the expressed interest in participation, I don't personally feel that it would be fair to make those appointments at this time, considering the drastic move that council made at our last meeting to remove members of the public from the board.
Let me comment further, Rebecca. In order to achieve what we need to achieve as an EDC board, we really only need to have 2 more meetings. One would be a proposed budget workshop where we could hammer out a budget, ratify the new bylaws, and I would like to address TJ's grant application. However, that could be done simply in 2 meetings, and if we had 4 members and all 4 members could be there each time, we could get this done and closed up in almost no time.
I agree.
Is it necessary, Mayor, to go ahead and appoint someone this quickly of coming off of the problems that we've just had? I think we're getting a little hasty on appointing board members for these.
We have to have 4 members of the board to make a quorum. We have to get a budget out, and we have to ratify the bylaws. And we don't have to address TJ's, but they've been waiting now since July. And I would like to see this cleaned up, but that's a council decision. Rebecca?
Question about actually, so if I may too, Don, in order to have a quorum, we need to appoint 1 more person. My statement earlier was just, I was hoping that we could stick with what we said before and make that a member of the council or a member of another board or city staff member. Now, I do believe that the EDC board does not actually need to meet to do the budget. The council can approve the EDC budget, period. It's not ideal, but we can do that. And the other piece is, I'm curious, since you brought up
Go ahead.
a specific grant that was previously awarded, I don't know what really needs to I just don't know that I agree with you that the board needs to meet to discuss that grant application. It's already been awarded. The way I see it, and correct me if I'm wrong, is the only thing left to do is administrative and to issue their check.
Because currently the way they're operating, and we don't have to operate the same way, but policies and procedures, the entire board needs to review the final payment. If y'all want to meet as a board and change that, then fine, but that was a motion that was made at the last EDC meeting that I attended.
Well, I believe that grant was vested in the procedures that were previously in place, and it may
I think
be.
we're getting off point.
No, because it's relative. It has to do with whether or not we need to make this board appointment.
Well, we're discussing
Well, we can
future
discuss
actions.
this
You're
later.
not the director
EDC.
of this meeting,
Oh, excuse me.
and the mayor
I
has
think I
addressed.
can object. I have the right to object. Excuse me,
Okay,
please.
let's move
I wasn't
on.
getting rude with you.
She's discussing why she doesn't believe that,
Okay.
well, you know, you're kind of right.
I don't have
But
really
we
anything
don't-
else to say.
but before we decide what we can do as a board, we need to have a board,
Okay,
please.
the point
Yeah, that's
was-
what I'm getting at.
Okay.
I think that you are discussing a lot of things that is not appropriate to be discussed here. You're getting into policies and how you're gonna
Okay,
handle
let's-
things.
Let's move on to the board situation.
Really don't appreciate getting cut off like that so rudely.
You
okay?
interrupted, Jerry.
No, I
Okay.
said
Hey,
I
hey,
had
hey,
an
both of
objection
you,
and I have the
please,
right to
please.
place
Hey,
an
stop.
objection.
Please.
Okay, I'm ready.
Okay, thank
Do
you.
we have any more discussion?
I
at
think
this
right
point?
now, we
No, I
ought to
think we're done
we
with
ought to
discussion.
table this tonight.
Well, we need a motion. We're beyond discussion, I believe. Rebecca? you want one final comment, and then Jerry, you can have one final comment?
I was hoping to get to the point of whether or not we really needed to appoint someone tonight, or if council action would be sufficient for the time being, which is why the discussion was relevant, which is what you brought up into the discussion.
Well, since the council cannot act as the EDC, I don't believe that the council can take that action. Don?
How many applications do we have presently?
Several. There's these, there's a couple of old ones.
Okay, let's
There's
go
not,
with the
is
new
Deanna's
ones.
new one in here?
Yes, it's the last one.
Jerry
If
has
I could
requested,
say something directly related to
Jerry, I
what we
still have
should be.
the floor.
Hang on,
I'm
hang
sorry.
on.
Sorry, I didn't
We
know
don't
you
even
did.
have a motion
I
yet,
didn't know you
guys.
did.
This is just a discussion.
Mine was a question. He has asked to be on the board 2 or 3 times. He's asked us to. Is there any reason why he cannot be on the board?
As soon as you make a motion, get a second, we take a vote. That's exactly where we can go.
I so move.
I'm not
I-
sure what the motion is.
I would still like to make a comment if I
Well,
could.
then let's get a motion in a second. Would you
I would
state,
like to make,
you can't make a second. He's made a motion. I don't have a
I
second.
thought you were gonna give me a chance to make another comment. It's okay, go ahead and move forward.
We move to move on, okay? Would you restate your motion, please?
I asked the council to appoint Jerry to the EDC
And you
as
so
a new
move?
member, and I so move.
So that's a motion to appoint Jerry Russ to the EDC.
That's right. He's very interested in this.
I'll second that.
And Jerry seconds. Now, discussion. Jerry?
So we're talking now of having 4, correct? Is that correct?
We will have if the vote,
Well, we're up for a discussion right now.
yes.
Okay, even numbers don't work. What happens when you have a tie? We know what happens. The motion dies, right? Is that correct? I don't think that's a good position to be in. Secondly, what if somebody's out sick, or whatever, they just can't be there? That kills us as far as having a meeting. We're done. I cannot see why we would not appoint at least 5 to properly function, because you need somebody there for a tiebreaker.
In my opinion, and it's only my opinion as a member of the board, I don't believe there will be a tie because our issues are cut and dried in front of us. We're not going on into these other things right now. We have the things we need to do soon. The election is only 2 months away.
That's assuming the vote. I'm sorry. To me, that's assuming that everybody's gonna vote the same.
Well, the subject is,
I understand.
do we want to
I was
vote
still
for Jerry
talking.
or not?
Yeah, I understand that, but I'm also getting at the point that, you know,
Well, that's a
Just
point we'll
appoint one.
that's an issue we'll take up at
okay.
another time. Right now, we're talking about the 4th member. Yes, Don?
Mayor, I made the motion because I thought this would settle part of our problems that we have going on right now. And then later, the new board, new council members come in, then they
Right.
can pick the, new board members or applications surely would be in by that time. And that was my reason. You
And
do
I
not
believe-
have to accept it, sir.
And I
if
believe
you
that
don't
was the
want it.
purpose of our discussion that we had last time. So we've got a motion and a second. I'm gonna move on to the vote. All in favor? Don, Rosie, and Jerry. Opposed? Rebecca. Okay, item 5, yes, Jerry.
Where were you moving to? I make a motion. I'd like to make a motion, please.
Go ahead.
What, can I?
You wanna make
We're
another
still
motion
on-
on the same?
We're still on C, correct?
Yes, sir.
I'd like to make a motion to nominate Alan Anterberry.
Do I have a second?
I'll second it for discussion.
Don seconds it for discussion.
Who is Alan Canterbury? I do not know this person.
Okay, I did speak with him. I think, first of all, we have some excellent applicants here. You couldn't ask for anything more. And to not appoint some of these, I think really is wasting a great opportunity. This guy has tremendous business background, private and commercial business. And the things that he's hoping to achieve, I think falls right in line with what the city is trying to achieve.
Does he live in the city?
No, he would be a county with no business applicant. And regardless of the things that we feel that we have to handle, those are the things we know we have to handle. But in most cases, things arise that aren't expected. And I think that's why it's good to have a working board at all times.
Rebecca had her hand up. You still want to have a question, Rebecca?
Well, my only comment was to Jerry's point that his goals or the vision of the city, when I still argue that the council has not met and agreed upon and provided a direction for the EDC, and what those programs will look like and be like in accordance with the master plan, which is still being developed. So I stand by my earlier statement, and that the consensus was to remove all members of the public until the point that the city does get their stuff together, to provide that direction. Otherwise, why did we remove a board of willing public members just to replace them with someone else? That seems manipulative and strategic, whereas what we discussed was waiting to allow the new elected council to have that discretion and have that time to frame those projects.
Don?
Again, it's discussion, but didn't at one time, Mayor, we bring in the applicants, and the council met the applicants and talked to them individually? I'm not too crazy about just going out and reaching and grabbing people to come in, because we've had our problems. And we put Jerry on the board, or theoretically. I don't know. I believe anyone, I don't care if they've been on the board or are new to the board or whatever, they should come in and face this council and let us ask questions to them. We give them our ideas how the EDC should be run. I served on the EDC, and at that time we did, if you remember. They were brought into the council. And anyone that was there, even the ones that were there before, if they want to come back and reapply, they're going to come in and tell us what's going on.
I think this COVID pandemic has made so many things difficult for so many people. Previously, we did interview, or not interview, but give them their 3 minutes and
That's
ask
right.
questions and discover their backgrounds and try to get a feel for them. Unfortunately, we haven't been able to do this. Now, I'm going to advocate starting September 3rd that we allow the public to speak through raising their hands in the Zoom meetings, and we'll go forward from there. But I can see both sides of this. I really can, and I don't know which way I would vote if I had to vote, but I spoke with Mr. Atterbury, and he's been very, very diligent about calling City Hall after each meeting and talking to Jill primarily, and I think he's talked to Keeley once or twice. Has he, Mr. Atterbury?
No.
Okay.
Not me.
Anyway, but I know Jill's talked to him, and I've talked to him. It's your decision, council. I just don't know how to go with this, but quite frankly, I think with 4 that we have, we could get this knocked out and wait until the new council is on board and take it from there. Any other comments? Okay, all in favor of Alan Atterbury? Jerry? All opposed? Rebecca, Don, and Rosie. Motion fails. It's not to say we can't come back to it at another time. Absolutely. Okay, requested.
One second. I think that I'm gonna withdraw at this point, and I know that we've already voted on it, so you can handle it however you need. I don't want to be a part of that.
You're gonna withdraw from the EDC? Okay, thank you.
I don't want to be a part of that.
Any other comments? Okay, let's move on.
Well, do we need another motion at this point?
We do if we're gonna appoint somebody.
Keely's like, no, not me. Well, the
Or-
only other board, I'll make a motion.
Yes, please.
To the only other board member or city affiliate that I'm aware of has applied for the EDC, who is a P&Z member, is Jared Wilcox. So I will make a motion to appoint Jared to the EDC, so that we can have a quorum.
Do we have a second?
No, it's,
Well, no,
Well,
I need a
second,
second
I'm
before we
sorry.
can have discussion. We have a motion, okay? Second? No second, motion fails.
Okay, so we still don't have a
Do you have
quorum.
another
okay,
motion?
I'd like to make a motion.
Yes, sir.
I'd like to make a motion to appoint Deanna McCabe.
Do you have a second?
I'll second it.
Don seconds. Discussion? All right, all in favor? Oh, I'm sorry, Don, you had discussion?
Oh,
Yeah, I'm getting a little bit confused where we're at right here, right now. You wanna kind of straighten us out, one of you? You, Mayor? Are we shorthanded in the EDC now?
Well, he
Or do we-
resigned. He's just been appointed, just resigned. So Deanna McCabe is still a civilian, so I don't see where one civilian over another would be a win-win or lose-lose. Yes, Jerry?
Deanna has more experience than any of us when it comes to EDC. She knows the inner workings, she knows what they've been dealing with. She was the administrative secretary for a great period of time. She's done a fantastic job. And by far, we couldn't find a better candidate than Deanna. She's got all the experience.
Well, Mayor, we've got to, I guess, try to keep the EDC moving. Would you withdraw your resignation?
I did.
Withdraw it.
I did withdraw. Oh, withdraw my resignation?
Yeah.
No, I wouldn't. No, not at this point.
Good question. Yeah. The last one.
Okay, Deanna McCabe. All in favor? Rosie, Dawn, Jerry, in favor? All opposed? Rebecca. Okay, yes, Jerry.
I'd like to make another motion, because I do feel that we need 5 people to function properly. I would like to nominate Jerry Stevens.
Jerry Stevens.
Mhm.
Okay. Do we have a second?
Again, for discussion, I'll second.
Okay.
Who is Jerry Stevens? I do
Okay.
not know this person.
I spoke with her also. She's got extensive business background. She is currently part owner in a business here in town. She's got accounting background, and I think she's another that's a great fit for things that we need on that board. And once again, I hate passing up great opportunities like this, especially when we're just trying to get a minimum number of people on the board. And these are excellent candidates, you won't find better.
But again, Deanna, of course, we're familiar with. Jerry, we're not familiar with. Atterbury, we're not familiar with. Mr. Greason, we're not familiar with. Who else is in here? Why don't we point you back again to make number 5?
No, that's okay. Thanks.
I would ask you also, Jerry, to do this. You need to be honest, you've got a lot of good ideas.
I don't know that we would end up with a good working relationship. If I had a unanimous vote, I'd feel much better about it, but I can see that there's some resistance, even in a person's own plans. So I see that I'm not really wanted on that board. If it was just you folks, that's one thing, but when I have to work with somebody that doesn't want to work with me, then I don't want to be a part of that.
We do have a motion and a second that is not relevant to Jerry's position on the board.
Or, well, it was relevant to my question of why we were going on with folks we don't really know the background. Okay.
Sure.
All in favor of Jerry Stevens? Yes,
Can
sir?
I make one more comment?
Yeah.
typically that's how it's been done. So why the change all of a sudden? That's traditionally how it's been done.
What
Many
is it?
times that we've not known really anything about these people, we went basically off a 2-page application.
I don't agree with that in the
Okay.
recent boards in
Well, you don't
recent
have-
years.
I can respect that you don't
Okay.
agree.
All in favor of Jerry Stevens?
I'll vote.
Rosie, Don, and Jerry. All opposed? Rebecca. Okay, Jerry Stevens and, Deanna McCabe it is. Any other motions? Yes, ma'am.
I'll make a motion to go ahead and reappoint Andrea Jankowski and Darcy Hasty, and
Then we'll withdraw.
why not? I mean, what was the point of removing the other board members? Just to do this?
I'm not sure what your plan was.
I have stated
I'm
in
not sure,
in
that
the
was your all's
public.
plan, not mine.
I stated-
That was never any part of my plan. I always felt we needed at least 4 members.
Okay,
Probably not
we have,
7,
okay, we
so-
have 5 now. If you want to appoint 2 more, Rebecca.
I withdraw my comment. Let's move on.
Okay, let's move on, shall we? Number 5 is requests and announcements. I want to announce to you that because Lynn has resigned from the council, it's too late to get another place on the ballot for the November election. So council will be considering on September whether to appoint someone to fill that seat or to leave it vacant until after the election. In the meantime, we're not in session to vote, but I am going to go ahead and ask the city secretary to advertise for applicants for that council seat. And then y'all decide between now and then whether you want to fill it or you want to leave it open. Okay? Any other requests or announcements? Okay, motion to adjourn.
So moved.
Rebecca makes a motion to adjourn, Jerry seconds. All in favor? All in favor? All none opposed. 6:32.